Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on 790 The Bet. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency and Wally Hatchett's Comfort Food and Drinks at 6439 Summer Avenue.
Good Saturday morning, everyone. Once again, I've been saying it all morning long. It is Outdoors with Larry Ray, except Larry is not here today. He is a little bit under the weather. This is Frank Barton. I fill in and help out with Larry from time to time. And with me in the studio is Ron Wong.
Hey, good morning, everybody. And Frank, you've done a wonderful job in filling out for Larry Ray this morning. And gosh, I hope he gets well soon so we don't have to do what we're doing.
I'm sure he's listening. So
no doubt about it.
And with us,
another co-host,
a third co-host, not in the studio, but has called in earlier and has brought in a mystery guest today, and that is the one and only Bill Cooksey. Bill, good morning again.
Good morning, Frank and Ron. And you want me to bring this mystery guest
Yeah,
in?
let's bring the mystery guest in.
Well, let's do it because it won't be a mystery long. I mean, if you're a waterfowl hunter from this part of the world, or really about any part of the world now, we have Beaver Dam Hunting Services own Mike Boyd. Mike, welcome to the show, and thanks for making time for us.
Thanks, guys. I'm glad to be here. I appreciate y'all having me on.
Heck, let's talk about crappie fishing, right?
There you go. Every time I'm chasing a cripple and I go by trees, I'm going like, I caught fish right there, and I got it on my mind, that's for sure.
Well, Mike, I think here in about a week you're going to need an auger if you want to crappie fish.
I think you're right. If the weatherman's telling the truth, it's going to be colder than it's been in a while, and I'll tell you, I'm ready for it. Let's do it. If that's what it takes, let's start.
Well, I know where I am. It's generally a lot better when we get those kind of temperatures, but it's not necessarily good for everybody. But how's y'all's season been so far? What's been going on?
Well, it's really been a little bit strange. We've had such a dry year. Mississippi River is historically low. We said, man, we've got water on Beaver Dam. All the old natural bodies of water. You cut off and and Beaver Dam, Walnut Lake, Moon Lake, all those places. That was about, other than pumped water, was about it in this area. All the beaver sloughs and willow breaks and stuff were dry. And to prove that, Beaver Dam was full of wood ducks, which normally you don't see that many wood ducks, but all their normal haunts were dry, so they were pushed into there. But we weren't seeing many ducks. We weren't seeing a lot of specks. We just were not seeing numbers of waterfowl. But I would talk to my friends not far across the river and north of here, and they were having some pretty good numbers of waterfowl. But I didn't know how the season was gonna go. But even though we didn't have huge numbers, our season's been surprisingly good. I did a little math yesterday, and we're averaging over, I think, 3 birds a morning. I'll take that average any day. And we've been fighting cloudy weather and wind and the lack of wind and rain, and it finally started raining a little bit. But still, we had working birds, and so I was really excited when at dusk yesterday when the sun popped out right at sunset, and we had a clear night. And I said, "Well, we're gonna get them tomorrow." And sun comes up this morning, and we didn't see a lot of ducks. So once again, proving the more I think I know about ducks and fish and deer and all that stuff, the more I prove I don't. So we had a great time, though, and we did work a few ducks. But I really expected to see more flights of birds in the air today. So I don't know. Go figure. You got to go to know, and sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Just because we didn't have we had a great day today, but just because we didn't see numbers of birds doesn't mean we won't tomorrow.
Here recently, I saw a couple of days in a row, y'all killed several green-winged teal. And in the time that I've been down there, I don't know that I've ever even seen a teal. So what kind of species mix have y'all been seeing this year? Is it unusual or pretty common?
Well, it's really not too uncommon. We've had mostly mallards, which is a little strange for Beaver Dam, but we've gotten out of where we get more mallards than gadwalls in Beaver Dam. Wow. We have teal occasionally, not all the time. We don't see the numbers of teal that you might think we would, but we do have a good many green wings. Of course, blue wings are, we're not there for them. Normally they're past us, but widgeon, and we actually at times we have a fair number of pintails working there, and that hadn't always been the case, but the last few years we've shot numbers of pintails where that's just not normally a duck that uses the cypress break. Yeah. But
Mike, this is Frank.
Hey.
For those, I've had the fortunate time to hunt with you down there, but for our folks that are not used to what I would call big blind hunting, can you talk about what it's like as far as big blind hunting compared to the small blind that field blinds that were out in the trees? Because how many people can you hunt like in the Broham blind, or I think that's the one I remember.
Right. Well, Frank, for years growing up, I just thought I just needed to try to disappear, and so we always tried to. Of course, when I was young, it was just strictly just family or a couple of friends would go hunting. But when I started guiding, we had bigger groups coming, and I was still unsure about blind size, and I always tried to keep it to a minimum if possible. And then one day I went and hunted a blind, and you may be familiar with it, over in a section of green timber at Colt, Arkansas. And this blind was right in the middle of that section of green timber, and I think it was called the Opry House or something. But anyway, a friend of mine and myself bought this hunt at a school auction. I had no idea what to expect, but I was told, if you were going to get a hunt, this was the one to get. So we go and we get in boats, and we go out through the trail going to the middle of this section of oak timber, and we come up on about I'm going to say a quarter of an acre, third of an acre at the most, a hole cut in the timber, and there's this house sitting there in the edge of it, up on stilts. And it's got a porch all the way around it. Got big steps going up to a landing, and they turn and they go up, and there's smoke coming out of the chimney, and and I'm like, boy, this is one of them right here. We're not going to see a duck this morning. And they had decoys in front of it, and I sat there and watched them call ducks into that hole right there, and I said, if you brush it up and it's not moving, ducks will come to it. And so when I got home, I started thinking about it, and we ended up building our blinds bigger. And as long as you'll take that shape away from it, I've never – Tommy Aiken, who I know that y'all all know.
Oh, yeah.
He used to dog me. The first time he ever came down here, he said, you've got 2 cypress limbs on the front of your blind. Is that what you call brushing a blind? I said, get in the blind, Tommy. We kill ducks, and he just was amazed that ducks would come into that. But
I remember that.
Yeah, sure you do, Bill. You were right, man. Yeah, you were right in the thick of that, and he still dogs me today about brushing blinds. He said, "You got 3 or 4 limbs on it now." Well, we do a better job than we used to, but we have ducks get so close to us. I tell Lamar sometime. I said, "Man, you need to get these ducks away from us. They're too close to shoot." And a lot of that is just joking with him, but they don't seem to fear the blind. So at least where I hunt, the blind size is not a concern. If you just do a little bit of concealment, I don't think it's an issue at all, Frank. And Lamar and I decided a long time ago, if we're going to do this every day, we're going to be comfortable. And so size brings comfort. And we've got a stove and a coffee pot, and I'm not going to say we cook breakfast every day.
You've got a light switch, too.
I have a light switch.
You have a light switch, too.
Absolutely. We pull up and we hit the light switch, and people go, and they're looking for the cord that runs, the wire that runs to the house, you know, and they're wondering how in the world we got lights out there. And I have to explain to them it's 12 volt, you know, and that's really nice, too, when you're out there in the dark and you can see in your blind bag and you can get everything like, you know, situated like you need to. But yeah, it's and it's hard to haul all that lumber out there in a boat too. But
yeah,
you know, you find a way. You find a way. But it's worth it in the end. And we have a lot of fun out there and we spend a lot of hours out there. So you know, we do want to be comfortable. And the thing about it is, doing what we do, we have to build safety features in because we're dealing with people day in and day out that we don't know. We don't know what their gun safety is or anything else. So we try to do some things to get ahead of that. The way we structure our shooting holes in the front wall of the blind, where it's physically impossible to overswing on your neighbor, and just a few things like that, just make it all a lot more enjoyable.
Well, and Mike, your setup is, I mean, obviously Beaver Dam is iconic and it's a bucket list for everyone who duck hunts. But the way you're set up with kids, ladies, older folks, anyone with, you know, just impairments, it's not an issue.
It's not an issue. It's not an issue. And that's one of the great things about it is because we've introduced so many kids to duck hunting out there because of the way the blind is situated, and it's just a short boat ride out there, and then you just step up into a blind. It's kind of like being in a deer stand. Once you get in there, you got a nice, comfortable seat, you know, and we've got some little stools that we made where if the kids are too short, you know, they can step up on there on a little platform and get them up, you know, where they're at a comfortable level to shoot. And then we've had older people go out there that are just not physically able to go get in a pit or, you know, wade a long distance or, you know, and all that. And so that's nice too. And of course we've taken a lot of ladies over the years. We had a great ladies hunt with Ducks Unlimited a few years ago that was just, I wouldn't trade for anything in the world. And I don't think they would either, because when I tell you it was cold, I was about to freeze to death. They never complained one bit. It was 8 degrees.
Wow.
And man, did we get some good footage out of that. That was so much fun. But
hey, Mike, if somebody wants to go hunting out there and book a hunt with you, how do they get a hold of you?
Well, the best way would be to go to our website, Beaver Dam Ducks, and BeaverDamHuntingServices.com, and just look at the website. And there's a contact link right there that they can just, you know, push the contact us button, and it'll shoot us an email, and then we'll respond from there, and we'll see if we can't get everybody taken care of.
Hey, Mike, we've run out of time, unfortunately, and because of that, we're going to have you on again. We've got your phone number now, and we're certainly going to have you on again on behalf of Larry Ray and everybody else. Wishing you a Merry Christmas.
Bill,
thank you, Ron.
Bill, thank you for being with us. Thanks for bringing Mike on. That was a pretty good mystery guest.
Yeah, and we're going to bring him on again.
That's right.
The mystery man.
Merry Christmas, y'all.
Thanks, guys. Merry Christmas to everybody.
All right. Well, that concludes today's 90 minutes, the fastest 90 minutes in outdoor broadcasting.
Absolutely.
I'm sure Larry is still listening. Larry, we miss you.
Yep, we miss you. Get well soon. And it doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport.
And what else?
God bless the USA.